Hi everyone, I'm David Scranton, and thank you for clicking this video because today we're talking about investing in technology stocks. And there's been a lot of recent excitement and a lot of recent interest in this concept of tech investing. But beware, the tech sector is extremely volatile and extremely challenging for most investors. So to help us out with this complex topic, we're bringing in today's special guest, Eddie Ghabour, co-owner of Key Advisors Group, located in Delaware. He's also the Amazon best-selling author of the book, Common Sense Bull. Eddie, it's always great to have you back with us here on The Income Generation.
Thank you so much for having me, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so, okay. As a Common Sense Bull, I'm sure you get lots of questions from people about the tech sector. What are some of the most common questions that you're hearing today?
You know, the most common question we get from technology, which probably is one of the reasons why I think we're probably near a top in the technology sector, is my own personal opinion, is wanting to find the diamond in the rough that's going to be the next Amazon or the next Tesla, and trying to find a company that is just starting out that has tremendous upside. That's really the biggest question that I get a lot with technology, is trying to have that forward-looking vision in regards of finding that next company that could possibly be a grand slam for investors. But that is not anything we recommend for our clients because it's too aggressive. But that's the most common question that we get.
Well, it's interesting because, even venture capitalists that invest in the technology sector do a much deeper dive on research than anybody, than even you or I could do on a particular company. And frankly, even then, they diversify in a dozen or even more various companies, knowing that they'll get one home run, a couple base hits, and a whole bunch of strikeouts along the way. So you're right. It's something that you need to be cautious of. But are you finding that people's interest is increasing lately in technology stocks, let's say since the pandemic?
It really has, Dave, you know better than anybody, when you start to see the types of returns that some of the technology stocks have had, the stay-at-home stocks tied to technology, and you see those types of returns, that's usually when you start to get investors chasing. And that's when interest starts to peak. And we try to educate investors in regards to risk management. By the time it's hit mainstream and everyone's talking about it, you've probably already missed it, right? So that's why we like to tell people right now, it's not the time to be a hero and try to bet on the technology sector in a big way, because I personally think it's going to be one of the worst performers for this year.
Okay. So, I know you're concerned about where the markets are today in terms of technology stocks, but in general, what do you think some of the main things are that people need to understand about technology stocks, the technology sector, even if maybe we didn't think the market was so top heavy today?
So look, the biggest thing that investors need to understand with technology is the volatility behind it. When you look at a lot of different asset classes that you're going to invest in, one of the things that we really try to look at is volatility. The higher the volatility of particular asset classes, in our opinion, the lower percentage you should have in your allocation, because the moves are massive in either direction. And so I don't think the average investor walking around actually truly understands how big of an impact volatility has. And so that's the thing that we look at closely when we're picking sectors. And that's the thing that we try to educate clients on when they're looking to look at this sector, is to understand the risk involved based on that volatility metrics.
Yeah, and it's interesting because a lot of people, like you said, who are looking for the next big thing, those things not only have a lot of volatility, but also they don't pay dividends. So if you're a member of the income generation, then that increases the risk even further because it's not something that's going to be able to pay you once you retire. But that's not true with all technology sector, right? Some technology stocks do pay dividends, and some of those can be appropriate for people's portfolios, correct?
Really can. And that's when you're looking at your mega cap tech stocks, right? Those companies that actually are making money. One reason why some technology stocks aren't paying dividends because they're not making any money. betting on massive growth down the road. But now when you're starting to look at a portfolio that has higher quality in it, like we prefer for our client base, then there's some wonderful mega cap tech companies that you can diversify your portfolio in. They have strong cash flow, and yeah, they're still going to be volatile. But to your point, they have that dividend that provides an extra layer of, I'll call it, cushion in regards to volatility. The other thing, the bigger thing, in my opinion, is the likelihood of them failing, is a lot less than a company that's a startup. So that's why we would prefer our clients to be more in the mega cap tech sector for more than one reason. But to your point, again, it is attractive to have that dividend added as that extra kicker.
And it might be where you're getting a 1 or 2% dividend. It's not a 3 or 4% dividend like you get elsewhere. But if you have enough income and you want to put a little bit in technology, focus on the dividends, because even then, like I said, volatility be a lot less, and also that income really, really helps. But let's just look at the growth for a minute. Okay, I know you think the sector as a whole is maybe a little top-ish right now, and if that's the fact, then is there any sectors that you could point to within technology that you think still have some upside, that if someone did want to be a little more speculative, it might be the better place to go, or the lesser of all evils?
So I'm going to be the bearer of bad news on my short-term call. I wouldn't touch technology with a 10-foot pole right now from a near-term perspective. However, we know investors are longer-term oriented, as they should be, because we're not day traders. So you want to focus, in my opinion, for the most upside is technology stocks that are in the AI space, artificial intelligence. That is the future of technology. And any technology company that is not embracing AI is going to get left in the dust. So if you want to be on the cutting edge of technology, and the companies, in my opinion, that have the most upside, you want to focus on companies that are investing in artificial intelligence and continuing to grow that area of their business, because that's going to continue to be a bigger part of the market share in technology. And those are the ones that have the most upside, in my opinion.
Right. So you've gotten me excited, Eddie. I want to invest in Eddie Ghabour's metaverse. That's my goal. So final thought. That's right. That pays dividends. The metaverse that pays dividends. I love it. Final thoughts, for our income generation members here in 2022. What do you think is the most important message this year that they need to hear in general?
So for 2022, the message is, so I've been doing this for 20 some years. This is the most cautious I've ever been in my career going into a year. And so the message for this year is play defense. Don't try to be a hero here, because we have a lot of things that could go wrong in 2022. And that's not me trying to scare anyone. That's just me going over what I believe to be factual information, that we are heading into a slowdown with monetary policies, tactics that have never been used before that now have to be reversed. I do not want to get in the way of that freight train and try to be a hero here. So I hope investors are listening, and they're trying to do things to preserve their hard-earned capital after a monstrous 2 years in the markets.
And that's why you, Eddie Ghabour, are indeed the common sense bull. Thanks so much for being back with us here on the Income Generation. I always love spending time with you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you for watching today's video, Tech Investing 101. If you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up button to give us a like, and make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel each and every week for new content.